Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some stocks on the move this week. I'm Tim Stanovic with Emily Graffeo. We're joined by Bloomberg News earnings reporter Red Brown. Red, you have the unique feature of being in here on a Friday afternoon to give us, after the market closes, to give us these stocks that were on your radar for the entire week. What are they?
The stocks that I'm keeping my eye on for this week, number one would be UnitedHealth Group. They've had quite a wild year. And that's really saying something for this company, which is like notorious for being the most consistent, the most boring company kind of in the S&P 500. They've shed 42% of their value this year, which is just an incredible kind of turn of events. It's lost, just to kind of like put that in perspective, it's $290 billion that they've lost. They were looking at close to, $600 billion. Now they're closer to $300 billion in terms of market cap. So, yeah, it's been quite a year for that company.
I mean, quite a week. This is what you call a no good, very bad week. You know, it started off with the news that they were tearing up their guidance for the year, getting a new CEO, and ended the week with this Wall Street Journal report that they were being investigated. Yeah,
I mean, those are really the main drivers of the share performance that we're seeing this week. And it kind of has a lot of investors just like scratching their head. It is, how could they have gotten things this wrong? How could they have estimated their costs so poorly? This really does seem like it's a UnitedHealth specific issue. It's not something that's you're seeing at some of the other peers. Humana, Alleviates haven't reported similar issues. So yeah, it's quite a task that they're going to need to turn around with a new CEO.
All right, what else are you watching?
First Solar is another one that's kind of top of mind for me. Since April 30th, the stock is up 40%. And a lot of that is coming down to some of the political pressures just starting to alleviate. So first we saw the China tensions easing earlier this month with Trump and China able to bring down some of those tariffs, start the process of cooling relations there. A lot of the global solar panel supply chain still runs through China. First Solar has made a lot of efforts to kind of diversify away from the country, move to Vietnam, things like that. And then on top of that, we got a big relief when Republicans submitted their draft for the kind of revamped Inflation Reduction Act. And it looks like they're not going to be as hard on green energy as people were fearing. So that's another kind of big boost for this company.
All right, Supermicro also on your radar this week.
Yeah, and more politics with Supermicro. They're up 42% this week. That's their best 1 week performance since November. And, it all really comes down to President Trump's trip in the Middle East. It's kind of the gift that keeps on giving for a lot of these companies. NVIDIA, also another one of the best performing stocks this week for the same reasons. And for Supermicro, it comes down to on Tuesday, they penned a $20 billion deal with a Saudi data center company. And then we also saw big announcements from OpenAI to do work in the region as well. One of Supermicro's biggest customers.
Am I reading this right, Red Brown? 44% higher this week for Supermicro?
Incredible. Yeah.
It's now the fourth best performing stock in the S&P 500 year to date.
This is such a volatile stock.
I feel like it was in the bottom 10 like a couple weeks ago.
And then before they added it, it was moving up. Then they added it, then it moved lower. NVIDIA, you mentioned too, Red, up 16% just this week.
Yeah, kind of getting back to those big numbers that we expect from NVIDIA.
Wow.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.